Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another one of our videos going over every Temtem. Today we're going to be covering the melee type. Now, as we get towards the end of this series, this being the 8th installment, you might notice that some types are lacking a variety of creatures. This is very much due to the early access nature of the game. Melee type is an example of this because most melee types are stated to live in Arbory, and Arbory is currently not available in the game. So unfortunately, this does leave for a rather minuscule amount of melee types. But nevertheless, let's get into this. Melee types, as I said, are said to thrive in Arbory, specifically that of Lochburg. They're described as being bred for one purpose, and that being fighting. Melee type Temtem are said to be appreciated across the archipelago as sleek battle machines. There are currently only 6 melee type Temtem in the game, and only 2 that are mono melee, while the other ones have melee as a secondary typing. We've already covered Skunch and Gialis in our neutral and crystal type videos respectively, and Mushuk has actually evolved from a mono toxic Temtem, so unfortunately it'll have to be explored in our future every toxic type explained video. So as it stands, that just leaves us with 3. So yeah, this is going to be a rather short video, but nevertheless I'll make sure to cover these 3 in depth, as each are definitely noteworthy as far as the game's meta goes, and as well as overall game significance. Now first up on this list is going to be Saipat. Now Saipat's actually water/melee type, so we could potentially cover it in our future every water type Temtem video, but that would just leave us with Smazy's line, so too bad, we're covering it here. Anyway, so Saipat's described as being comical in appearance but deadly in combat. Wielding its coral sai, it's not to be trifled with. Interestingly enough, as young Saipats grow, they discard the shells on their heads for newer, larger ones, and these discarded shells are then grinded into powder and made into paint by humans. Its name is derived from the word sai, which refers to the weapon in its hand, and pato, which is the Spanish word for duck. So translated in English, its name would be Psyduck. Its potential traits are Amphibian, which increases its speed stat when hit with a water type technique, and more importantly, Toxic Affinity, which gives Saipat the stab bonus on toxic type attacks. It yields 3 HP TVs and makes for a wondrous farming spot for HP just west of Turquesa. It can also be found in many locations such as Thalassian Cliffs, Gifted Bridges, Solera River, like I just said, Windward Fort, Agua Marina Caves, and the Zalot Reservoir. Now you might be thinking that since Saipat is so commonly available, it mustn't be that outstanding. However, that statement could not be farther from the truth. With Toxic Affinity, Saipat essentially has 3 stabs, being water, melee, and toxic. Looking at its base stat spread, it chiefly focuses on HP and attack with respectable stats all around. Its base stat total is 444. Its defenses, though not terrible, are underwhelming, and its stamina is quite low, so you'll have to work around that. It is currently being used as a physical sweeper, though with its special attack only being 10 points lower than its physical attack. I could seeing it being used as a mixed attacker in the future if it gains some sort of decent special type move. It's an A rank Temtem according to Temtem Strat, and as usual take those rankings with a grain of salt because they change all the time. Now next up is Smazy, the melee type starter that Professor Konstantinos offers you at the beginning of the game. Smazy have been bred for many generations and are typically used as babysitters and playmates for young children. Despite this fact, they are still quite respectable fighters. Its name is actually derived from the word smack and chimpanzee, though the long A sound in Smazy is used in the Kickstarter trailer, so the pronunciation is somewhat of a debated topic, whether it's Smazzy or Smazy. Its potential traits are Fever Rush, which raises its attack by 1 stage when it gains any status condition, and Friendship, which allows it to avoid ally technique damage. It yields 2 attack TVs and is only available via trading or if you picked it up as your starter. It'll evolve into Baboong after leveling up 29 times. Now Baboong are described as being hot-headed at times and very popular in Lochburg. They're oftentimes employed as pub bouncers. Very interesting considering the Smazy that you're given in Deniz was actually won in a pub. Its name is made up of the words baboon and young, essentially what it is, not being fully evolved. It is of course a mono melee type like its pre-evolution and will have an evolution in the future, but as of right now we don't have information on that front. My guess is that when Kisiwa comes around, the next update that is, the level cap will be increased to, I don't know, maybe around 60, and perhaps we'll see its final form by then. Its potential traits are Brawny, which increases the power of physical techniques by 20%, and Warm-Blooded, which prevents a cold status condition. It yields 3 attack TVs and can only be obtained via evolving Smazy. Its base stat total is 402 with a focus in attack and speed. Baboong makes for a decent sweeper, only being weak to mental and digital, more specifically mental right now, but it is outclassed by Gialis, who has 2 stab moves and much better coverage. According to Temtem Strat, it's a B tier Temtem. So yeah, those are the current melee type Temtem that we were able to cover in this video. Make sure to let me know in the comments which ones you'd like to see me cover next. There are still a few with multiple Temtem and a few with very few Temtem. So Earth has only a few. Wind, Water, and Toxic, though, have quite a bit. So let me know in the comments which ones you'd like to see next. And for more things Temtem, make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at GymLeaderEd, join our Discord server, and until next time, peace.